just keep lining up. It was Michael Irvin, day one. It was Swagoo, day two. And now today, Keyshawn Johnson. I mean, you think he'd be busy enough doing his radio show, but now he got to try come and invade First Take. Take over First Take. Ain't happening. The crew is in the house. Molly's right next to me.
Hey, hey.
She's looking quite dapper, needless to say. So am I. First Take's in the house right now.
We're going for two. We're going for two, and we ain't stopping.
Got to keep earning it. I don't think it's any aspect of me that thinks what I've done last year means anything. I got to go do it this year.
I'd do anything known to man to get in a Super Bowl.
Them coming off title, prime time, set for the perfect stage.
You got to start the season the right way. The first biggest game of the year is Thursday night.
Big show today, y'all. Welcome into First Take. As you can see, Key taking on Stephen A. Hey, hey. Bart Scott will be here, and one of the best coaches in the NFL stopping by, Mike Tomlin. Plus, it's HBCU Wednesday. We're going to spotlight a historically black college or university each week, and today we celebrate FAMU. We'll be checking in on campus all week. I like the white, Stephen A.
Is it dapper? Is it
it's
cool?
Clean.
Is it cool?
And I want everyone to know you can wear white after Labor Day. Like, those days are over. There's winter white. People need to know that.
As long as it's before September 21st.
Can't hide money, that's for sure, Molly. Can't
right?
hide that money.
Especially new money, Key. New money.
He always says that. He always says that. Listen, first of all, I want to welcome Keyshawn Johnson to the show, and I want to remind everybody of what this show is really, really about. We got the lovely Molly Kim Rose here. We got myself, and obviously, you know, Max is doing big things with Keyshawn and Jay Williams. All the best to him. Just so everybody knows, each and every single day, whether it's Michael Irvin on Wednesday or Swagoo yesterday, it's Keyshawn today, it's Tim Tebow Friday, along with a host of contributors like Orlovsky and Jeff Saturday and Dominique Foxworth, Brian Clark, Damian Woody, Teddy Bruschi and the whole crew, Paul Feinbaum and others. That chair is open to the world of sports and entertainment as well, not just to the contributors that will be on this show. That's what this show is about moving forward, and I just want to make sure to remind everybody that's what it is. That's what it is moving forward.
And someone took you up on that invitation. That'll happen later, so stay tuned.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Key, you got some explaining to do. So here's the deal. Dak Prescott returns to action against the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers tomorrow. I can't wait. After suffering that brutal leg injury last season, obviously dealing with a shoulder too, Prescott led the NFL with over 1,800 pass yards through Week 5 last season before suffering the injury. For the Bucs, Tommy Brady will be the first player in NFL history to make 300 regular season starts on Thursday. Brady can also become just the second quarterback to win a game at the age of 44, joining Vinny Testaverde. Brady and the Bucs are the first reigning Super Bowl champions. Listen to this. To return all 22 starters in the salary cap era. Unbelievable. Giving Tampa an opportunity to become the first team to repeat since those 03-04 Pats.
Really just a whole nother year and experience. So I think it's just more of, we got a chance to go out and play the 2021 team the best we possibly can. I think our coaches have put us in a great position to be successful. Our personnel department, Jason's done a great job, and we got a lot of continuity, got a lot of things to build on, a lot more experience together. So that's really all you can ask for as players, is to be in the position that we're in. As good as we were, as we played, with the same group of guys, I'd love to see us, see where we can get this year.
All right. If my memory serves me correctly, Keyshawn, you've won a Super Bowl. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And what team was that?
Tampa Bay Bucs.
Okay. So I have a question for you. Obviously, Keyshawn, with Tom Brady at the helm, the greatest of all time, if the Bucs repeat, they are the greatest Bucs team ever, correct?
No, I won't. I'm not going to say they're the greatest Bucs team ever. No, I can't say that, because when you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the defensive side of the ball, when we won the Super Bowl alone, we got potentially 5 Hall of Famers just on the defensive side of the ball, not including Randall McDaniel on the offensive side of the ball. And 3 of them are already in, right? Warren Sapp, John Lynch, Derek Brooks, Rondé Barber soon, and Simeon Rice most likely soon. Now you talk about on the offensive side, Randall McDaniel. So that's 6 potential Hall of Famers off of a Super Bowl team. If you got an argument against that, I don't know. The Buccaneers defense is lights out right now. There is no question about it. But that ain't the same type of defense as that Hall of Fame defense that I was on. It's just not, it's not the same. I'm not even going to elaborate anymore.
Well, first, well, allow me to elaborate, Keyshawn Johnson, because let me tell you something about the blasphemous words that just came out of your mouth. It doesn't apply to the defense, of course. That Tampa defense that you played with, that was number one, okay?
Number one in your greatest team. She said greatest team.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to it. I'm getting cool out. I'm getting to it, all right? You had the greatest. You had you're number one in points allowed, number one in yards allowed, number one in passing yards allowed, and you were a top 5 defense against the run. The defense was sensational. Simeon Rice, Warren Sapp and the crew, even Alshon Singleton and those ones. I remember, I got that. But we talking team. And team-wise, this Tampa Bay defense is big time. And offensively, no disrespect to you, the 1,000-yard receiver for the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in 2002. But your offense wasn't this offense. I mean, Brad Johnson wasn't Tom Brady.
Hold on.
I'm not finished. Hold on. Can I finish my point? Can I finish my point, man? Can I finish my point, okay? They had you, and I'm just looking through the roster. I'm just taking the liberty of looking through the roster right here, right? They had you. Your second leading receiver was Keenan McCardle, okay? Your Michael Pittman had him damn near 500 yards receiving out of the backfield. You got Joe Jaravicius, all right, he had about 423 yards, and some dude named Ken Dilger. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Mike Evans. I'm thinking Chris Godwin. I'm thinking Rob Gronkowski. I'm thinking Antonio Brown. I mean, come on now. Your offense wasn't this offense. Let's pump the brakes now. But
hold on, though, Stephen A. But hold on. What you looking at is you looking at names. Our offense was productive. Keenan McCardle was a Pro Bowl wide receiver, just like they got Pro Bowl wide receivers. I was a Pro Bowl wide receiver. So when you start talking about certain guys, Mike Allstott was a Pro Bowl fullback. Brad Johnson was not Tom Brady, but he was a Pro Bowl quarterback. So when you start Randall McDaniel, Pro Bowl guard. Okay, Jeff Christie, Pro Bowl center. So when you start talking about adding names to the bunch, let's be real here on your show. Let's keep it 100. I understand recently bias factors into some of the things that you might say.
Help a brother understand. First of all, the game has changed a little bit. Mike Allstott I'm looking at his numbers right here. He had about 548 yards rushing as a fullback. So we understand you had dual dudes in the backfield. I get all of that. All right. Well, let's look at the numbers. I ain't gonna live on the numbers because it ain't just about the numbers. It's about the eye test too. You had the 18th ranked offense. You were 24th in yards. You had the 15th ranked rushing attack.
We didn't need to do nothing but hit when we needed to hit.
Listen. Excuse me. Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette last year were nothing to sneeze at, all right? And again, the receiving core, they had you, bro. But the other cats that you had with you don't compare to the crew that's in there now.
Keenan McCardle was ridiculous. Put some respect on K-Mac's name.
Respect him? I'm just saying
Keenan missed time.
I mean, he ain't
Keenan missed time that year. But he did carve up the Raiders in the Super Bowl when he came back.
All right,
so
let's be
honest.
That's where we're going. You mean the Raiders that were distracted because their top offensive
linemen?
Oh,
no, they were. Stop.
Where was he in Mexico? Stop. Where was he in Mexico? And they were distracted. You mean that team?
So we won because we won the Super Bowl because they missed a center?
No, I'm saying they were a bit distracted. They weren't themselves, and y'all took advantage and wiped the field with them. I get all of that. They got what they got to come up, and I understand that. But let's not act like your crew, your personnel compared to this.
They are a very good team and ridiculous, right? But when you try to balance out, much like you said, that wasn't our offense. Okay, they got more prolific offensive weapons. Well, we just throw our defense in there. We said team, so let's balance it out.
Okay.
We got six Hall of Famers, potential Hall of Famers on that team. 6.
Okay.
And if I played longer instead of 11 years, who knows where that would have taken us?
All right, well, listen, we ain't talking about you. You Keyshawn.
I'm just saying, I just want to put it in context.
I got that.
I want to put it in
I'm talking about the rest of your crew. Let's put some respect, but let's not try to sit up there and sprinkle them with flowers and all of that stuff like they were on this level.
I'm saying if you talking about Brady and that crew on the offensive side, why can't I talk about the defensive side of our team?
Because this defense right now is a top 8 defense in the National Football League, and they were top 3, top 4 in the last half of the season. That Tampa Bay defense, your offense collectively couldn't mess with these boys. Stop it. Stop it.
Our offense couldn't mess with that defense?
No, your offense couldn't mess with this offense, meaning when you compare the two, your offense wasn't on this level.
All right, y'all, we got to agree to disagree. Final words here, Keyshawn.
Different system, though. It's a different system in how they run things, Molly.
I'm going to give him that. He knows it's a different system. But Keisha,
it's a different system.
When he got that smirk on his face, that's him going like this. Damn, my boy is right.
No, that ain't me doing no
I
damn.
don't think that's what he's saying.
You're not going to talk your fan base into believing you won this debate. You're not getting ready to do that.
Can we carry on, please? Gentlemen, we got more to get to. Jeremy Fowler on ESPN.com put out a list predicting this year's award winners. One of the surprises was the NFL execs voted Lamar Jackson as most polarizing. After leading the NFL in total QBR in 2019, Jackson took a step back in 2020 with fewer touchdown passes, more interceptions, and a lower completion percentage. One area Jackson could look to improve is against blitzes. He threw 6 pass TDs against the blitz in 2020 after throwing 21 in 2019, the most by any quarterback in the last 15 seasons. I'm glad we have a former wide receiver to ask this question to. So, Keyshawn, I'm going to start with you. And when I say, is Lamar Jackson an elite quarterback, I'm talking about, is he the kind of quarterback you would want to be catching passes from?
Absolutely. And I'm not just saying this because I'm on the show and about Lamar. I wouldn't mind catching balls from him. Have you seen, and if you haven't, Stephen A. and Molly, do the research of the quarterbacks that I played with. Would I like to have played with Joe Montana? Absolutely. Or Aaron Rodgers?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
But that didn't happen. You have to do what you can with a guy like Lamar Jackson. Yes, he may be the most polarizing guy because here's what I would say. People don't like his style that like traditional passing quarterbacks. They don't understand what a Lamar Jackson gives you, a two-way go. And I tell this to people all the time, Stephen A. I say, look, if you break down numbers, and I told you that a passing quarterback had 40 touchdowns combined, you would go, wow, that's great. If I told you Lamar Jackson had 1,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 3,500 yards in the air and 20 touchdowns, you would say, well, he didn't do this or that. But it's all the same numbers when you boil down, when you look at the wins. The problem that Lamar has right now is he hasn't been able to get over the hump. He started off fast in his career. He's won an MVP. He's won a playoff game. He's gotten them in the playoffs, won the division, and people are looking for more when guys like Patrick Mahomes have delivered more. If it wasn't for that throw by Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl, would we be still talking about Patrick Mahomes the way that we do? You got to be fair when you start having these conversations about elite quarterbacking. Yes, he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Aaron Rodgers, but he ain't chopped liver either.
First of all, ain't no shade on Lamar Jackson. The brother can play, and he's a former league MVP. We know the brother's not a scrub. That's not this conversation. The conversation is the word elite. And here's where Keyshawn lost the argument. Okay. 2 seconds into his soliloquy. 2 seconds. You know what he said, Molly?
What?
You know what he said, y'all? Let me quote Keyshawn Johnson. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind catching passes from him. That's what he said. Yeah. Those were his words. Do you hear
right.
That's a wide receiver, an all-pro wide receiver, a Super Bowl champion
cool with
wide receiver saying, I wouldn't mind.
That'd be cool.
Catching passes from him. He lost the argument right there. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, here's the reality. We know that Lamar Jackson is an electrifying athlete, a playmaker at the quarterback position, the only quarterback in history that ran for back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons at the quarterback spot. He is special. The problem is, when you call yourself an elite quarterback and you bring that conversation into the direction of moi, my number one criteria is, are you an accurate thrower of the football? particularly under pressure. I'm not talking about scrambling out of the pocket where you ain't got nothing in front of you and you zipping a pass here or there. And I'm not trying to say he can't throw from the pocket and he hasn't made good throws from the pocket. What I'm saying is Lamar Jackson has yet to prove that he is an elite passer. And if you are not an elite passer, you are not an elite quarterback. Period.
Let me play devil's advocate. Has he had the right help around him, the right weapons to catch passes?
No, he has not. Stephen A., he has not had the right situation. On top of not having the situation, it's right for the Baltimore Ravens. Damn what you think he should be. It's right for the Ravens, and here's why it's right for the Ravens, because they getting ready to turn in the bag. And when the team turns in the bag, that tells you what they feel about you, regardless to what mainstream media and fan bases think.
Okay. Well, I would respond. I have a retort to that argument that Keyshawn Johnson just made. See, he lost the argument again. Damn what we think. Doesn't quite work that way, my brother. Doesn't quite work that way, okay? Because let me tell you something right now. Keyshawn Johnson. You understand what I'm saying? That Keyshawn Johnson radio show in the morning with 4 hours. That's why all of those guests are flocking there. You know why? Because they care what the hell Keyshawn thinks. That's why. And let me tell you something right now. When you're sitting up there as a football team, I thought, correct me if I'm wrong, Keyshawn, Mr. Super Bowl champion, I thought it was about the chips. I thought it was about winning. Excuse me.
It is about the chip, and he's going to get there. The dude, this is going on his 4th year, Stephen A. This 4 years in, man.
Hold on.
Actually, it's only 4 years in.
Hold on. Keyshawn Johnson, I didn't say he would never be elite. I did not say that his career is over. I did not give any kind of indication that there is a period to that sentence.
Given indication
I'm talking is right.
He is not a throwing quarterback.
He's
you
not
did give that indication.
All right, let me ask you this, Stephen A.
Yeah.
What if he had Tom Brady's weapons? What would you expect from him this season if he had those type of receivers?
I would expect the numbers to be greater.
Okay.
He would certainly throw for 3,000 yards. He only threw for 2,700 yards last year. Had 26 touchdowns. 9 interceptions, something along those lines. This is what I'm saying about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, during the regular season, you escape the pocket, you make things happen, you fling that football.
Yeah.
When the playoffs arrive and everybody ups the ante, which Keyshawn knows a hell of a lot better than me, the bottom line is this. Things intensify, and what they do is focus on you doing what you do worse. And in the end, the kind of things that are available to you in the regular season ain't necessarily available to you in the postseason. And as a result, we find out who he is. I think that Lamar Jackson is a great, phenomenal talent who's a good quarterback. But when we say elite quarterback, elite with the quarterback position cannot be attached to one another until you can throw that football accurately under duress. Period.
Yeah, and that is going to happen, Stephen A. and Molly. They went out and retooled their offense. Yeah. Too bad Dobbins got hurt. They just signed Le'Veon Bell to try to maybe fix that problem. But they drafted Rashawn Bateman. They have Boykins there. They went and signed Sammy Watkins. Now, all of a sudden, Hollywood Brown. Sammy got to stay healthy. That's all he got to do. He just got to stay healthy. And they also are putting him underneath the center when predominantly he's been in the gun. So they are putting an emphasis on making the passing game better. I am not a Baltimore Ravens fan. I'm just giving you facts. That's all I'm giving you. They went out there and they went out there and got 2 receiver coaches that most people that know football and know that position will say Keith Williams and T. Martin know what the hell they doing at the receiver spot.
Well, Keyshawn Johnson, with all due respect, you didn't give me facts because you said this is what he's going to do. It's not a fact. It's your perception of what is going to happen.
No, it's a fact of what they just did.
Work with me. Hold on.
It's factual they retooled.
No. Sammy Watkins, Hollywood Brown, all of those boys, signing Mark Andrews to a new contract extension. I get all of that. You've upgraded your personnel. We don't know that's going to work.
Upgrade because you assume it's going to be better. We don't know a lot of things about a lot of players until it actually happens. But this is all based on what we see with our eyes. Our eyes tell us. My eyes tell me, as you like to say, as an NFL all-pro trained guy, I look at it with my eyes and I say, oh, they're going to be okay in the passing game. They're going to be all right.
Okay.
They're going to be okay.
I'm saying to you.
And therefore, he'll be okay.
And I'm saying to you, you in the AFC North, you got Cleveland and Pittsburgh waiting for you. I don't know about that. You got New England, Miami, and Buffalo in the East. I don't know about that. You got Indy, all right, in the South with Tennessee. I don't know about that. You got KC
your
and the
eyes
Chargers
give you
in the
pause.
West. I don't know about that. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Stephen A's eyes giving pause. Before we wrap this up, though, let me ask you this, Stephen A.
He lost another one.
Outside of Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, who do you consider elite in terms of quarterbacks right now?
Tom Brady.
And Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
Brady,
Patrick
Aaron
Mahomes.
Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Patrick
Wait,
Mahomes.
hold on, Key. I'm asking Stephen A. because I want to know who's on his
Patrick
list.
Mahomes.
Yep.
Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Let me really think about that here. Because they're when we talk about greatness,
elite.
It's very limited. I give it to like 4 or 5 dudes.
All right, fair enough. Key, you're adding anyone to that list?
See, I like Derek Carr, but that's just me.
Oh my
That's
God!
me.
You said that publicly.
I like Derek
Did you
Carr.
just say that on national TV?
Yes, I did, and I've been saying it. And I've been saying it since day one. 3 years ago, he was an MVP candidate till he got hurt.
Was.
John Gruden came in there and changed up everything. 4 years ago. Yeah. John Gruden came in there, changed up everything, and he ain't missed a beat. They're not losing because of him. They're losing because of the damn defense.
Oh, we might need to continue this later.
Whoa. I understand that. I actually like Derek Carr. He's no scrub. I'm not trying to imply that. But I just want to be clear. When I said elite.
I want to be clear.
Hold on. Stay with me, Keyshawn. You ain't going nowhere. Hold on. When you say elite, and we brought up Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, you're saying on national television that Derek Carr belongs in that conversation?
I like Derek Carr for that. I don't care what people think. I like him. Despite not playing the best. Do you know who the best receiver he's ever had? Ever. Do you even know?
No.
Amari Cooper, not the tight end Waller. Amari Cooper has been his best receiver.
Okay.
He hasn't been with Amari Cooper, in 3 years? Come on, man, stop, Stephen.
Let's just pause for a moment.
Well,
let's just marinate on what just happened. We might revisit the subject a little later, and Keyshawn can elaborate further. But
something is wrong with Keyshawn.
Let's just take
something is wrong with me.
Time out.
No,
let me get into a commercial break, please. All right, guys. The two teams from this city, the Giants, Keyshawn's former team.
Marcus Thomas, I appreciate you looking all polished right there on national television and all of that other stuff. But you need to do your homework and know your facts. First of all, the Los Angeles Lakers are not the front runners. That would happen to be the Brooklyn Nets. You know, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving picked up Patty Mills, got LaMarcus Aldridge returning, still got Blake Griffin in the crew there. Come on now, that's number one. Number two, with that being said, I fully expect the Lakers to meet them in the NBA Finals. And how will they come together? It's very, very simple. LeBron James is one of the top 2 players on the planet. AD is one of the top 5 players on the planet. Russell Westbrook is a superstar. And that 3-headed monster, along with some of the pickups, Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, people like that, they are built for the postseason. They'll struggle during the regular season from time to time because they'll take days off. But come postseason time, Lakers will be ready. And nobody out west got anything for them, in my opinion. That's how they're going to come together, because they don't need to do anything.
Who
but
takes
beat
the last
themselves.
shot?
Excuse me?
Who takes the last shot?
AD or LeBron.
Okay.
AD or LeBron.
All right.
Very simple.
Marcus, thank you so much. Great question, and I appreciate your professionalism. Much respect there.
Yeah, you're a little tight. Got to loosen up. It's
all good.
From HBCU, we got flavor, Marcus. You can loosen up a little bit, but go ahead.
He's got a bright future, okay?
He does. Got to give him some advice, Marcus.
So yesterday, Stephen A. uttered infamous words. Get at me. And Bart stepped up, taking some issue with something you did yesterday. What?
Do I get to interrupt just for a second?
I guess.
Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it.
Got to get on him for a second here. What's my problem with him right now?
Wait. Hold up.
And this is, in all seriousness, bro, this is what I think people are missing. And I'm not knocking any shade on Buffalo. I like them a lot, and I'm a fan of Josh Allen. We got to take into consideration that last year was really his first really good year.
Yeah.
Okay? And off that, he got a $258 million contract. Baker Mayfield actually had more good seasons than Josh Allen thus far. Last year was Josh Allen's first really good season. That's number one. Number two, even though we look at Sean McDermott and the job that they're doing, and that defense in Buffalo is real, and we get all of that, you had one target in Stephon Diggs. That's what you had, okay? I think Belichick, when you consider the fact that last year was last year, and this year you got some manpower back into the mix, and you got a prototypical quarterback that's more suitable for your system with Mac Jones. This is a guy that played at Alabama. This is a guy that won a national championship. This is a guy that doesn't mind. And I'm not saying it's the NFL. Yeah. I get all of that. But what I'm talking about is if you're going to be a run-heavy football or dipping and dunking the tight ends, because nobody did that more than Belichick in the past when he had the late Aaron Hernandez and, of course, Rob Gronkowski, stuff like that. Now you got 2 tight ends, all right? You got a receiver or 2 to throw the damn football to. Okay. You still have a running game. You still got the offensive coordinator, Josh McDaniel. You still have the great Bill Belichick. I'm like, how the hell we going to forget about New England based off a COVID year that they were down, and the same year that COVID ravaged them, they didn't have Tom Brady because he had departed for Tampa.
But what are we forgetting, Stephen A? And a lot of people want to look at Buffalo. Mm-hmm. But who was the second best team in that division last year? Mm-hmm. The Miami Dolphins. What have the Miami Dolphins done? Went out and got Jalen Waddle, right, who probably would have won the Heisman if he didn't get injured, right?
That's right.
You have Devontae Parker.
Okay.
And they have Will Fuller when he comes off the 6-game suspension. I think we're underestimating the division because when you look at the division, all things being equal,
right,
who has the worst quarterback? Who has the worst quarterback in the division?
Well, you can say, excuse me. I can make the argument that at this particular moment in time, it would be Miami, even though I would say the Jets let Luke Wilson prove something first because he has
Mac and Cheese got to prove something too, correct?
I agree with that, but here's my point. See, this is where you don't get to get away with it, Bart Scott, because you see, I'm brilliant because I know I'm not. I simply steal from those who are, and I listen to them. And I listen to Bart Scott. I listen to him on the show in New York. I listen to him when he show up on television, particularly on Get Up. I've been watching you for years. I remember you being a bit emotional because your Jets beat those New England Patriots. You can't wait with my man Sal Palantonio. I remember all of that. So there might be some bias. There might be some emotion when it comes to the New England Patriots. But in the end, you know what I remember Bart Scott teaching me about the game of football when it came to the quarterback position? When in doubt, do it out. That's what Bart Scott told me 5 years ago when it came to the quarterback position. You understand? That's what Bart Scott, this man right here, he thought I forgot that, but I did it. And last time I checked, haven't we heard Brian Flores or the Miami Dolphins expressing doubts about Tua Tagovailoa?
We have.
Hold on one second. You're just focusing on the AFC East. I would argue even the Tennessee Titans should be ahead.
Well,
don't forget, they brought in Julio.
Listen, I didn't even go to my favor because I don't think that the Patriots even make the playoffs. I think that the Dolphins and I think that the Buffalo Bills go. Because when you think all things equal, when have Mac and Cheese ever been better than Tua Tagovailoa? They were at the same school, right? You know, it was a reason why Tua was picked higher than Mac and Cheese, right? Now, I understand that Mac and Cheese has a high floor, but he has a low ceiling.
Are we really calling that the whole show, Mac and Cheese?
He has a low ceiling, right? He has a low ceiling. And in this division, I don't think you can get away with having the worst quarterback in the division. And if Tua isn't long for the division, we know that Watson's going to be in the division, which makes it even worse. I mean, bless you. You think about, Josh Allen. Josh Allen's only 25 years old. He's not going anywhere. Zach Wilson has more talent. Now, I understand that Bill Belichick is a great coach, and they should fundamentally be able to win games. I just don't think without the big bad wolf there anymore, Tom Brady, that you can't go and get away with just average quarterback play. Right? And he doesn't have any great receivers on the outside of the
I can't argue against that because it remains to be seen. I don't think he's going to be average, but I feel you on that. My flip side to it is that we've seen Tua have issues. Yeah. And my point to you is that all of that stuff you brought up in terms of Waddle or Devontae Parker and all, if Tua ain't the dude, you got a problem. You got a problem. And when we talk about the AFC East, the reason why I had the Patriots instead of a team like Tennessee, I'm looking at the AFC East being the division that it historically has been, even with the Patriots' dominance. It wasn't just about Tom Brady. It was about coaching. They found ways to beat you. They just do it.
But it's not the same division, Stephen A. It's a way better division.
Hold on. We could say it's a new day. My point is last year doesn't count to me because of how unorthodox the season was due to COVID. So then this season is what's going to show me who's really legit.
So you can't judge Tua then, right? Because Tua was coming off of surgery and he didn't get an opportunity. Now he's going to know the playbook. Now when you think about all things being equal, who has the better defense? The Patriots got 2 lockdown cornerbacks. The Dolphins have 2 lockdown cornerbacks. Okay. They have the better and the higher rated defense. Okay. They have equally more weapons at receiver, maybe not at tight end, but Gesicki isn't something to sneeze at anyway. And then really, I think we're really forgetting about Herbert and what they've done out there with the Chargers.
Oh, they ain't doing nothing. Listen, let me tell you something right now. Herbert is nice.
He's special.
Yeah. But he's playing for second place in his division. We know this. We know this. They ain't beat Kansas City.
So it's Mac and Cheese.
They ain't winning the division.
So it's Mac and Cheese, but you just don't realize it.
I don't realize it because the only evidence you have. The only evidence you have is COVID season 2020. I mean, we see what Kansas City has done the last 3 or 4 years. Chargers playing for second place in the division. We know that. We know that.
And so is the patch.
We don't know that. We don't know that. That's the difference.
Okay, let's
That's
continue.
The difference.
Bart Scott, you do know a thing or two about playing in NYC, but he's not talking Jets next segment. Why Bart thinks the Giants could be in major trouble this season. Don't miss that. And we're also going to send it out now. We have someone at FAMU.
Is that right?
My name is Carrington Wiggum, a senior broadcast journalism scholar and theater minor from Dallas, Texas. Attending an HBCU was important to me because I knew I wanted to be surrounded by similar young professionals that had drives that stem from similar places. Attending an HBCU is a lot of pressure because you are indeed standing on the shoulders of so many giants and great professionals who have went out into this world and have made huge impacts. I knew I had to be a part of that legacy.
Thank you, Carrington. Fun fact about Florida A&M University. It's the highest ranked public HBCU according to the 2021 U.S. News and World Report. Major.
What I think is a special football team that everyone's overlooking.
We ain't come to play. We don't run.
Not like QB.
We gon' elevate. Watch us elevate. Every bit of competition. We on a mission.
We now welcome in Super Bowl winning coach, the one and only Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. Welcome to First Take. What's up, Coach? How you doing, sir?
Great. Always good to be on with you, Stephen A.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much. News of the day right now. Let's get right to it. It's been a while since we spoke. TJ Watt, a lot of questions as to whether or not he's going to be available this Sunday over his contract situation. What can you tell us about what's going on with TJ Watt and whether or not he'll be available this Sunday?
You know, I am hopeful. I'm not in the negotiations, but I'm close to it. I know that it's been moving. I understand that we're in the 11th hour. Usually these things transpire in that way. I don't know where we are within that 11th hour, 11:15, 11:45, or what have you. But I'm optimistic, man. I always generally got an optimistic attitude. I know he's a quality player and a really good man, and we're always interested in doing long-term business with people like that. So I'm optimistic that it's going to get done. I'm optimistic that you're going to see him in uniform this weekend. But we're still in the midst of negotiations.
Coach, you're known as a player's coach. You obviously have great relationships with a lot of the players. I know business is business, and obviously you leave it to management to handle those things from time to time. But how involved do you find yourself getting from time to time when it comes to a player of this magnitude, knowing how important he is to the success of the franchise?
You know, I'm into managing him through the circumstances. I think that's the best road or the best role that I can play. It's a troublesome time for players, man. He's a competitor. He wants to play. And so I work hard to manage him through that, to make sure that he's hearing the things that he needs to hear. He's supported in those ways, that from a physical conditioning standpoint, he's ready to go when business gets settled, et cetera. That's my role in terms of direct role, in terms of sitting across from the table from one another and talking numbers. That's not my bag.
Coach, let me transition to your quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. Obviously, for the most part, had a pretty decent season as far as I'm concerned last year, but he tailed off at the tail end of the season. Obviously, y'all lost in the playoffs to the Cleveland Browns. There was retirement contemplated, at least according to reports. But Ben Roethlisberger is back. What kind of season are you expecting from him this year?
Man, quite frankly, man, I'm expecting great things. I think the coolest thing about this whole 12-month process is immediately after the season, he was very definitive in his desire to play from the moment that game was over. And I think his actions and his preparedness have kind of reflected that since. He's had a really good camp in preseason. He's in tune every day. He's having fun. He's doing a great job of not only playing the position of quarterback, but leading the young guys that we have in our offensive unit, man. We're scheduled to play some young guys this weekend and beyond. I think he's embraced that element of it and is really acting as a mentor in a lot of ways, formally and informally, in terms of being a component of the development of the young guys. So I'm expecting big things from him like I'm expecting big things from all of us.
Do you expect this season to be his last? Has he given you any indication as to whether or not that would be the case?
Hey, I know one thing. He's seen more seasons than he's going to see. And so I think he has that mentality, and I think I got that mentality, man. We're enjoying 2021, and we'll look at 2022 and beyond at the end of this one. For guys like him and for guys like me, we both kind of long in the tooth, man. We've been on the job a long time.
I understand that. Coach, let me ask you this question. I'm looking at Ben Roethlisberger, looking at some of his numbers. He threw the ball last year 600 8 times, fresh off of elbow surgery. As you reflect on that, was that a mistake that he threw the ball that much? And is that something that's going to be different this year? Or do you feel like, it was the right thing to do?
Hindsight is 20/20, but, in the midst of it, we knew it was a mistake. But we did what we had to do in order to keep the train moving. Our run game was not up to snuff a year ago. We struggled in that area. We struggled to stay on schedule when the run component was a significant component of what we did. So we had to lean on them. And largely it got us out of stadiums. But as you all know, we weren't able to finish in the manner in which we would like to. And so there's consequences for that. Consequences that we understood then and consequences that we understand now. Hopefully we're not in that lane as this season develops this year. I know we're not planning to be, and I know we're not building our program to be in that area.
Coach, I love the fact that y'all drafted Najee Harris out of Alabama. I was praying that he would land with you guys, obviously, and he definitely did. But there's still questions as to whether or not your running game will be stout because so many people look at this squad and the concern is the offensive line. What can you tell us about how you're feeling about your offensive line going into this season?
I tell you, 22 is not a concern. He is everything that we expected him to be. Not only from a talent standpoint, but an approach to business standpoint. He is all business. He's a competitor. I'm excited about infusing him into our scheme and watching him impact the running game in a very positive way. But as you mentioned, the bulk of it does fall on the offensive line, and we're challenging them in that way, and they're embracing it in that way. We got to be better than we were a year ago. I fully expect us to be, and they're working with those intentions day to day.
I'm a fan of Juju Smith-Schuster, but last year clearly was not his best season. I want to know what kind of conversations you've had with him in terms of your expectations for him this upcoming season. Speculation as to whether he would leave the Steelers, ultimately return to the Steelers. I love Chase Claypool and the rest of the crew, but Juju Smith-Schuster, what have you talked to him? What kind of things have you said to him about the kind of season he needs to have?
Something that I could share with you all that's significant. He's a leader of the group. He's a young guy. But he's the most experienced guy in the group, and he's a leader of the group. Guys like Chase Claypool, Deontay, James Washington. We got a really talented and deep group, but Juju's the elder statesman, and there's responsibility that comes with that in terms of day-to-day approaches to work, to educate them in terms of what's professional and what's expected, how we face and push through adversity. He has experience in all of those areas that he's capable of sharing with others, and I think it's reasonable to expect him to do it. He's a tremendous team player. His talents are his talents, but I'm equally as interested in some of those type contributions here in 2021.
Coach, I'm not going to get into the defense because I expect it to be elite, especially if T.J. Watt returns. I'm just going to leave it at that. But before I let you go, I'd be remiss in neglecting to ask you about your approach to this season in regards to COVID-19, COVID protocols. Last year was a real tough year. You've got the NFL putting in these protocols, etc. I want to know what your thoughts are about all the things that have been implemented and the expectations that players themselves should be vaccinated and putting themselves in the best position to be available for this upcoming season, sir.
I think, first of all, I framed it to our football team that it's a challenge, but it's fair because it's a challenge for all of us, meaning all 32 teams have to combat it. And so I want us to combat it relatively well. By that, I mean, I want us to be in position where we utilize the inconvenience of the circumstances as a winning edge for us. And largely, our guys have done that. Vaccination hadn't been a large discussion with us. The vast majority of our group has been vaccinated, not only through summer training, but even dating back to the spring. We haven't had to talk a lot about that. We've got a can-do attitude as it pertains to rolling with the punches of the ever-changing protocols. About every few days, man, we get a new memo. Hey, man, whatever that memo says, we're going to do, and we're going to do it in the right spirit. We're not going to let it dominate our day, and we're going to try to keep our collective energies focused on the football business. Man, we're all blessed, man. We get an opportunity to work. We're all getting challenged through the pandemic, but we point out people that are in the service industry within the last 12 months or so that didn't even get an opportunity to work. There are some disadvantages in terms of the things that we have to deal with, but we are getting an opportunity to pursue our hopes and dreams and do our jobs. And so we try to maintain that perspective. We try to maintain a can-do attitude. We try to attack the protocols. We want to make it a winning edge for us. and that's our general attitude. And so far, so good. But obviously, week in and week out, as we deal with the issues pertaining to it, we all, meaning us, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and everybody in the NFL, are going to have their work cut out for them.
Coach, appreciate your time. Thank you for making time for me right here today on First Take, my man. Go handle your business and win like you always do. Thank you so much.
Pleasure, sir.
All right. Back with more First Have Changed here. Max Kellerman is now a part of Keyshawn and Jay Williams Morning Radio Show. Here with me is going to be Keyshawn. It's going to be Marcus Spears. It's going to be Michael Irvin. It's going to be Swagoo, obviously, Marcus Spears, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky, Jeff Saturday, Mina Kimes, Kimberly Martin. The list goes on and on and on. We'll have a whole bunch of people on the show. Plus, that chair is open. Many people have been trying to get at me for years in the sports world and the world of entertainment, athletes, coaches, and beyond, wanting a piece of me. Well, chair's open. Everybody been talking, acting like they want to get at me. Bring it. I welcome the challenge anytime. That's what I wanted to say. Let's move on to the show.
Don't start twisting my words. See, that's why I don't like to do interviews.
Shut your up.
Who scheduled this game?
I got a hell of a reputation, don't I?
I wasn't picked here to be put on the back burner.
They can't cover me. They can't cover me.
Put up awesome numbers, won a Super Bowl ring. What more can you ask for?
All that screaming.
What can you do? I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can't do anything. There's nothing. We can't do. We couldn't throw. We throwing interceptions. Just, man.
All right, somebody's got some explaining to do. All right, Key, we know all wide receivers get that bad rep that they're the biggest divas in the NFL. You might have heard that once or twice in your day. But tell us why that's actually not totally accurate. Who are the biggest divas in the NFL?
For my money, it's the quarterbacks. Clearly, it's the quarterbacks. You've got to see them every single day, not just in press conferences, mimicking what the coach told them to say. You got to see them in the locker rooms, how they move around, how they do things. And receivers, yeah, they're divas if that's what you want to call them. Why? Because we're on an island. We're out there by ourselves. We depend on 11 other people to get us the football. 11 meaning 10 plus the offensive coordinator to decide on whether or not you're going to get the football. So the moment that we look like we're frustrated or we have a certain swag to us, we're divas. But quarterbacks can ask for the highest money. They can decide whether or not Brett Favre, if I want to play one day, don't want to play another. Aaron Rodgers, if I decide I want to play, don't want to play another. Oh, I need to be able to have some control or else I'm going to go do Jeopardy. If a receiver was to say that, we'll be crucified. If we came out and said we got 3 lockers, we have our own locker around the corner from the actual locker room, we will be crucified. I'm a living witness of it. I see what happens on a daily basis with these quarterbacks. The quarterback is always right because he's the highest paid guy on the team. Can't say anything bad to the quarterback. If you say something to him, if you scream at him or yell at him, you're a problem. They always got to have the look at his pretty face, his hairstyle. Oh, what about his suit? All diva stuff, everything. In fact, I played with Tony Romo in the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Romo, one of the most diva-ish dudes that I've ever been around at that position. And he wasn't even starting at the time. I think Tony might have even been on the practice squad. Major diva, though. Well, I know you just waiting to jump in, Stephen A. Go right ahead.
I cannot believe that you, of all people,
Absolutely.
Keyshawn, we started off the segment showing you your first touchdown. I'll never forget it when you ripped off your helmet and slammed it and just started going crazy. The book was titled "Give Me the Damn Ball." You sat up there when Vinny Testaverde got hurt because you had championship expectations. You was trying to go to the back to the AFC Championship game. Okay, and what happened? You had a situation where Vinny Testaverde goes down. Game 1, you go out there, you like, we could do this right, we could do that right. Damn, don't get me wrong. You right about some of the quarterbacks.
But,
and I get all of that.
Stephen A.,
yes.
How is that being a diva versus passion for wanting to win?
No.
When one of these quarterbacks run down the field and pump his fist, that's passion. Oh, he's such a team leader. Man, if you don't stop, you sound like mainstream media. Boy, if you don't stop.
Stay with me. I don't have a problem with the divas. I'm just saying don't deny it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
don't
but the
deny it.
quarterbacks,
I have no problem with it. Just don't
the
deny
quarterbacks are way other way, though, man. The quarterbacks is way to the other
Let me
side.
give you some names. Let me give you some names. Terrell Owens. We know he at the top of the list. You got Randy Moss. You got Chad Ochocinco. Okay? You got people looking at Odell Beckham Jr., stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating. I understand you on an island. You out there, you sitting there working, training, getting yourself in peak condition. You running routes, you getting open, they ain't getting you the ball. I got all of that. All I'm trying to say is, listen, you can't deny that wide receivers, they sort of own this category. Not to say that quarterbacks don't do it sometimes too, but wide receivers sort of own this category.
Sometimes Russell Wilson demanded a trade if they didn't do what he wanted. If that ain't the most diva-ish thing I've ever heard or seen.
Hold on. How's that diva?
Man, come on now, Stephen A.
The man got hit 300 times.
Stephen A., if a receiver had demanded anything, I demanded to get the ball. The whole NFL world wanted to blow up and run me out the league. Are you out of your mind right now? Think about it.
I'm saying to you, Russell Wilson made his case to answer your point. He made his case, Keyshawn, because the man was getting beat up. You out there getting
so when a receiver like Odell Beckham is trying to help the team win, they paying him a whole bunch of money, and he's frustrated. He gets tabbed as a diva. But Russell Wilson, he wants to win. He's getting beat up. Oh, poor Russell.
He's getting beat up.
Aaron Rodgers needs help. Aaron Rodgers needs help. Mind you, 2 NFC Championship games.
Aaron Rodgers was diva.
He needs help.
He was diva.
He's going to go do Jeopardy otherwise. I mean, come on, man, stop.
Hey, I'm not trying to deny what you're saying. I'm saying embrace it, bro. Ain't nothing wrong being a diva. Ain't nothing wrong. Just don't deny it.
I'm not running from it. What Molly said was the bigger diva. Is it the receiver or the quarterback? It's definitely
the wide receivers.
I personally think from my own experience of sitting there watching these people every day, it's the quarterbacks. That's what I think.
You gave me 2 quarterbacks and then went into the archives to tell us about Tony Romo prior to him being a starter.
I can talk about the dude that got 7 championships. If that ain't avocado ice cream. Come on, man, stop. If he's throwing the trophy across boats, he's throwing the trophy across boats. Nobody says anything. He throws a trophy across boats. They think it's funny. Let a receiver do that. They'd be like, oh, that's just a selfish act. That's diva-ish. Come on, man, you know that. Stephen A., don't try me.
I don't think that anybody would have had a problem with them throwing the trophy over the boat.
Yes, that is correct.
Because it takes one to know one.
Man.
The biggest diva of all time on low maintenance.
Right.
It's this man.
I'm not
and that's how we will end this.
In broadcast television?
Absolutely true.
It's him. In TV, it's this dude with the white suit on. Absolutely you.
Did you just tell Keyshawn to own it? Did you just tell him to own it?
I don't have a problem with the diva tendencies. I mean, I do look the part. But what I'm trying to say to you is that I'm kind of low maintenance. I'm not very demanding. I'm really not.
You're going to sit up here and lie to the American people that you are low maintenance?
I'm not very demanding at all. I don't
and then you're going to tell Keyshawn to own it. I can't. Let's go to break.
I don't think so.
Let's go to break. I can't.
Keyshawn,
you need to think about what just happened. You need to just think about it. You just need to think about it. Keyshawn, we're going to pause.
Man, I've seen your cars.
Oh my goodness.
We going there, damn.
All right. We'll leave it there.
Oh my goodness.
Mac and cheese could be making a lot of cheese one day if he lives up to the hype that Drew Brees is putting on him. Bart Scott thinks Drew is absolutely crazy. Don't miss that debate next. And another fun FAMU fact. Been a week since the Patriots released Cam Newton and we found out that Mac Jones would be the starting quarterback for the 6-time champs. That was surprising news to most of us, but not according to Jones, who said this. Listen up.
Not really. I mean, like I always say, I prepare to be the starter, and every day you come in and I got a chance to get a lot of reps, so nothing really changes. Just trying to be a good teammate, trying to learn the plays every day and fix what I messed up on and listen to Josh and all the guys in the quarterback room and just take the advice.
Okay, that was on WEEI. Future Hall of Fame quarterback Drew Brees says he is a fan, saying this: the minute the Patriots took Mac Jones at 15th, I said that's the steal of the draft. It's probably the guy who is most ready to play NFL quarterback right now of all the guys who were taken before. Welcome to the media. Drew Brees with his first bold take here, Bart. Are you buying it that Mac Jones is the steal of the draft?
I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling my mac and cheese is feeling itself now that elephant in the room is going Cam Newton. You can't tell me that you expect to come from Alabama, go to an organization, a franchise like the Patriots, and become the starter, and they're going to cut Cam Newton. I understand, like, right now the young man is feeling himself, and he's a good quarterback. But it's a difference between talking about the steal of the draft and the best bang for your buck. Now, I see the best bang for your buck. Yeah, you got him for 4 years, $16 million. That allows you to get a great team around him and be able to afford him. But you talk about, steals of the draft, I can be happy with getting a great deal on the Toyota Camry. That's a great car, right? You get it for a steal, but I'm not going to be happy. I'd rather overspend for A12 Ferrari A30. I'd rather overspend for that because at the end of the day, I know where that car is going to take me. Right now, Mac Jones is best bang for your buck because he allows you to have a cheap quarterback, which allows you to overpay Stephon Gilmore, bring in Judon and all that stuff. But at some point, he's going to have to play football. And at some point, he's going to have to win football games. You can't just hold on to the steering wheel. I did it twice with two rookie quarterbacks, Joe Flacco, Mark Sanchez. We went to AFC Championships. This team is built like that, but it's not like it used to be. The last average quarterback that won a Super Bowl was Nick Foles, and that's because they caught fire, right? But so Mac and Cheese at some point is going to have to go through Mahomes. At some point, he's going to have to go through Lamar Jackson. At some point, he's going to have to go through Josh Allen. I don't know if he's capable of doing that. Now, he can be stable, right? But the expectations in New England is to win championships. Now, Drew Brees, I do a lot of therapy, Stephen A., right? You know, 'cause I'm a little crazy, a little off, some screws loose, right? And sometimes we project. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you project what you see in yourself on other people. Mm-hmm. And when you hear about Mac Jones and how they describe him, limited arm strength, smart in the pocket, not a great athlete, Drew Brees is describing himself. Because there's no way that he can say that he's better than Trey Lance. He's not better than Zach Wilson. I understand that location matters. But right now, he's the worst quarterback in his division. And I think he's probably the fourth best, quarterback taken in the draft this year.
Well, first of all, a couple of things. Number one, because of what you just said in terms of Drew Brees talking about himself, that will make him qualified to make the assertions that he made. He's a future first ballot Hall of Fame. He's a Super Bowl champion, one of the elite quarterbacks we've ever seen. Definitely big on accuracy. Mac Jones is fresh off of winning a national championship at the University of Alabama, throwing 41 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions, and completing 77% of his passes. Now, granted, it's Alabama, but they did play in the SEC. Waddle was out for most of the season, so you had that one weapon in Devontae Smith. But the accuracy, we can't ignore it. We can't ignore that. That's number one. Hold on now. Not only can we not ignore that, here's where I make things interesting. When you talk about him being the steal of the draft, he's not talking about Mac Jones' talent. He's talking about the talent fitting the system he landed in. You see what I'm saying? Because we all know Mac Jones ain't no damn Trevor Lawrence. But what Trevor Lawrence got to work with in Jacksonville? All he got is Urban Meyer. And Urban Meyer can't play. He coach. He can't play. You got Zach Wilson. He's in the New York Jets. What's your primary weapon? Who's that going to be? Jamison Crowder? I mean, right now, COVID-19, all that stuff, but what you going to have available to you? So we don't know that. You look at Trey Lance. Well, again, you got Jimmy Garoppolo there. Why was Trey Lance even drafted? Primarily because Garoppolo can't be trusted because of his durability. Right. He can't stay healthy, okay? So that's really what that's about. And so when you look at Mac Jones going in there, you say he's feeling himself. Let's address the big elephant in the room. If you are a quarterback, and you throw with accuracy, Bart Scott, why would you be worried about Cam Newton? I mean, no disrespect. Cam Newton is a stud athlete. Cam Newton is a former league MVP.
Yep.
Anybody in the NFL that I've ever met respect him. I love the brother. I respect him. By the way, he's got a great cigar bar in Atlanta. You got to go check it out. It's right down the block from the stadium. It's beautiful.
His name drops you. They'll let me in?
I'm just telling you. That's right. That's all. Tell them I sent you. They'll let you in. Ain't no problem. But the cigar bar is real. Cam Newton Cigar Bar in ATL. I strongly suggest anybody go there when they in town. I go every time I'm in town. Now, having said all of that, I only have one issue with Cam Newton. His accuracy, as you well know better than me, because you know your football, has always been lacking. If I'm a quarterback and I know the system that I'm going into, okay? Because I played a pro-style offense at Alabama. And my coach, Nick Saban, is tight with Bill Belichick, who I've met on several occasions because he always down there, okay? And I got an idea about it. And I'm looking at this dude, and I'm saying he can run. He's a freak of nature athlete. You understand? Great physique, takes care of himself. But when it comes to throwing that football, I think I could take him. That's not far-fetched for a guy. Now, if you go into New Orleans with Drew Brees there at the time, that's different. You go into New England with Tom Brady there, that's different. You go into Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers or Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, that's a little bit different. But if you are going to a system where you know they want you to throw the football and throw with accuracy, and the person ahead of you is Cam Newton, what's wrong with him being confident he could take him?
I feel you, but be careful what you wish for. It all depends on what offense McDaniels wanted to run, because I thought it was an opportunity, because what Cam Newton allows you to do is play 11 on 11. It's nothing that Mac Jones can do. That they should have used Cam Newton like a used car, right? You throw the trash in the back, you smoke cigarettes in it, you don't care because you ain't keeping it. It wasn't a long-term solution. But now everything is on the shoulders of Mac Jones, because guess what's behind him? Brian the Destroyer, Hoyer the Destroyer is gone. Right? Jared Stidham can't play dead in the country western.
That's right.
So if he struggles, it's going to be on him, and it's going to be a long season, because the expectations in New England is different from any other place.
Come on, boy. See,
listen, at some point, he going to have to play football. At some point, he going to have to play football.
I feel you on that, but you getting a little bit beside yourself, because you know good and damn well that when you talk about a support system, he has that.
Yes.
So let's understand, it's a difference between, okay, we need you to make plays. Between that and we just need you to do your job. In New England is the one place where we just need you to do your job. Don't beat yourself.
Listen.
Don't beat yourself.
Steven,
you know that.
Listen, Steven, it's going to get a lot different, man. Forget all these it's levels to this.
I got you.
It's levels to this.
I understand.
And right now, he's going to have to do more than just carry the team, because without Stephon Gilmore, you can't guarantee
How
that
long is Stephon Gilmore?
6 weeks. 6 weeks. So he's going to have to win. And guess what? Yeah. Remember this. Circle week 4, because week 4 is coming.
Oh, yeah.
Terrific time is coming to town.
For that.
We're not sitting here acting like New England going 6-0.
You just said they're going to the Super Bowl.
No. I have
number 5 on your list.
They number 5 on my list. That don't mean they're going.
That's
only 2 teams playing the Super Bowl.
That's a 20%. You gave a 20% chance on your list. According to your list, that's 20%.
I gave a 20%.
I checked the math.
I think they win the division. And when you win a division, you probably get a home field game in the playoffs like they did in years past. Something along those lines. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't got them going to the Super Bowl or anything like that.
Welcome to Tennessee. Welcome to Tennessee Titans.
Okay, you can say that. And what I can say to you is Ryan Tannehill. Now, I like Ryan Tannehill, and I know you got Julio Jones and A.J. Brown there, but my mentality is...
Henry?
Listen, I'm talking Bill Belichick. I'm talking Bill Belichick.
Okay. Listen,
I'm talking Bill Belichick.
All these disciples don't fear that, because, listen, in your mind, the psyche is, we never seen him do it without terrific time. You heard Asante Samuels the other day.
Right.
Bill's just a record. I don't agree with him, but he should know better than me, because he was in that locker room.
Vrabel's a good coach, too.
I know. Vrabel's a very
Vrabel outbilled Bill in the playoffs the other year.
Vrabel's a very good coach. I like him a lot. But I will remind you, I ain't getting this out of thin air. I listen to analysts, football players.
I'm right here, Steven. Listen to me.
I'm talking to you. I'm looking right at you. I've seen cats for years. Bill Belichick's great. Even when Tom Brady did, Bill Belichick's great. Bill Belichick's phenomenal.
Have you ever?
Bill Belichick's great. He's the GOAT. Blah, blah, blah. But now that Tom
was on the verge.
We've never really seen him do it without Tom Brady.
He was on the verge of getting fired before Mo Lewis knocked out
hold on.
Whatever his name
is. You talk about when you were 20 years old, because you're 41. Talk about when you were 20 years old.
Quit reading my bio, Stephen A.
You talking about when you were 20 years old? I mean, that's what we doing. Let's talk about
years in the NFL,
damn sure wasn't talking about being fired the last 20 years.
That's how long it's been. Listen, we've never seen it done. So who's to say that it can be done?
Well, all I'm trying to say to you
is
I'm listening to y'all talk about the greatness of Bill Belichick all of these years, but now we want to conveniently ignore it?
Great doesn't make you a Super Bowl contender. It makes you a good coach.
Okay. Okay.
According to FBI, the Patriots have the 20th ranked offense this
I ain't worried
season.
about that.
And, the 4th ranked defense. So we'll leave it on
Don't worry
that.
about that.
I saw better hands on the clock. Nelson Aguilar, good luck with that.
All right. Which New York team has the bigger and brighter? Thank you, Jairus. All right, listen, I'm a Giants fan. Bart Scott's a former Jet. Stephen A., a native New Yorker, and we're in the concrete jungle. So we're going all Empire State here. So New York City's supposed to always be on top of the football teams. They've been lacking. Now, basketball has stepped up with the Nets and Knicks, but the Giants and Jets not living up to the city's moniker. Glass half full, though. The G-Men get their best player back in Saquon Barkley, and the Mean Green have a new quarterback under center with a ton of promise in Zach Wilson, plus a new coach in Robert Saleh, who worked wonders in San Francisco with that defense. Now, Bart, I remember when Stephen A. was off this summer, we talked about the New York Football Giants.
We did, Molly.
And you gave me so much hope, and you were so high on them, projecting them to win the NFC East.
Yes.
So do you still believe the G-Men have a brighter future than the Jets?
Molly, I like to call to the court, to the stand, Dave Gettleman.
Okay.
He's lied to me. He lied to me.
How?
He told me he loved the hog mollies. He told me that Andrew Thomas was elite because he took him 4th overall. Before Wills, before Becton, before Worth. He told me that Saquon Barkley was generational. He's been good, but I don't know if he's been 2nd overall good, right? Remember,
I think he has been when he's healthy.
When healthy. But listen, the position 2nd overall doesn't warrant taking a running back. Remember what he also told us. He told us that there were no franchise quarterbacks in that draft. Who did that draft include? Lamar Action Jackson, Josh Allen. And then he gave me Danny Dimes because he told me he reminded him of Eli. And listen, I'm a believer of Danny Dimes. Outside of the Junior Whopper hands, turning the ball over, fumbling the ball, burping the baby every once in a while.
Outside of fumbling the ball, not holding on to the damn ball as a quarterback. Go ahead.
But is it his fault? Because of the lack of protection. He made Nate Solder. Yes, Nate Solder. The Patriots gave up on him, made him the highest paid left tackle in the game. Right? He told me that he didn't sign Odell Beckham to trade him. Then he traded him. He's lied to us. He's lied to you, Molly, Steven. He's lied to you, and he's lied to me. He told me this offensive line was rebuilt and it was better suited to be able to protect Danny Dimes so we could have a true assessment of what he was. And then we watched the Patriots, man. They don't have no elite pass rushers. I don't even know who the dude was. It looked like it was a turnstile. A turnstile. I mean, Danny Dimes running for his life.
Right.
I think Danny Dimes may be a franchise quarterback. I think he's elite. But we won't find out. He's going to be Ryan Tannehill. He's going to go somewhere else, and we're going to realize that they had Josh Allen, but they never was able to see if he was Josh Allen because they couldn't protect him. Saquon Barkley's supposed to have mutant blood, right? You take somebody 2nd overall, I expect Christian McCaffrey, right? He's going to have to be an alien. He's going to have to be Adrian Peterson. He's going to have to come back from that injury and show me 2,000 yards because they have the $15 million elephant in the room. Dave Gettleman, I don't know.
He lied to you. Well, there's no surprise there. You know what I'm saying? He lied to some people in Carolina as well, and he botched up. I mean, the way they handled Josh Norman years ago, don't get me started with that. But here's the deal. Brighter future, I still would have to say the Giants right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, you just finished talking about you still believe in Danny Dimes.
I do.
All right? A lot of people believe in Zach Wilson. We know that he's bereft of weapons at this particular moment in time. You don't have the weapons necessary if you're the New York Jets on the offensive side of the ball. I don't see anything there. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, if you're looking at Danny Dimes, what did they pick up in the offseason? You still got Sterling Shepard. You picked up Kenny Galladay. Saquon Barkley is coming back. And by the way, give Gettleman credit for this. We do believe in Joe Judge.
We do.
We do. We like him.
His second coach.
I understand that, but he still got him. He's there. And so Robert Saleh, we'll see what happens. I believe he's going to be good. I think he's going to do a good job.
Do you believe in Joe Douglas?
I don't know.
He has to.
I don't know. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm rolling with the Giants. Because I feel like, at this point right now, you got a coach like Joe Judge. You got a piece like Saquon Barkley. Danny Dimes is no scrub, okay? I'm looking at it from that perspective. You got Galladay, you got Shepard, you got individuals you can throw the football to. And so I'm looking at it from that perspective, and I'm saying to myself, I'm not going to sell out the Giants from this. I think in the NFC East, let's face reality. It's 17 games now.
Yeah.
Okay, not 16. We know that in all likelihood, you need 8 or 9 wins so you can win the division in the NFC East. That's just who they are. And so as a result of that, we could see the Giants battling for a playoff the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, just like they were last year.
Yeah.
I don't want to rule that out.
You don't believe in the Washington football team? You don't think they?
No. I think Washington's defense is elite. I think the offense is suspect. We'll see where Ryan Fitzpatrick, if he's got any magic. Dallas Cowboys offense is big time. Their defense is trash. Okay. Let's see if that's going to change, okay? I'm just talking about last year. So Washington had the defense. Dallas has the offense. Mm-hmm. The Philadelphia Eagles don't have much, okay? We all know the wholesale changes they needed to make. Okay. I think the NFC East is wide open, even though I still say the Dallas Cowboys should win the division because their offense is just that high-powered. Yeah. They should. Whether they will or not remains to be seen. I'm just saying, when I look at that, you're the one that told me about Buffalo. You told me about Miami.
I did.
I'm telling you about New England. Where the hell does that leave the Jets?
But what's the question? Molly, what's the question?
Brighter future.
Brighter future. Are we talking about present? We're not talking about present,
I'm sorry,
right? We're talking about future, right? And what the Giants have failed to do is to build the basement. They have no foundation.
Hold on.
This was a team that was built off hog molly.
What basement?
Defensive line, offensive line.
What basement does the Jets have?
Becton, Avere Tucker, Moses. Those are the building blocks, the foundation of that offensive line that had Damon Woody, Nick Mangold, and the Brigastar Ferguson. Mm-hmm. Also, he has 2 first-round draft picks next year. And I would argue that Corey Davis is an elite number one, receiver. He only went for 1,000 yards last year.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Mims isn't a disappointment, right? I feel like Lawson, when he comes back being healthy, the Jets have, I believe, arguably, if Lawson wouldn't have got hurt, probably one of the best defensive lines when you think about Quentin Williams, Sheldon Rankins, who's a former Pro Bowler, and Carl Lawson, who was ready to have a breakout year, and Franklin Myers, who's a guy that's going to have a breakout year. You talk about Blake Martinez versus C.J. Mosley. C.J. Mosley, people forgot. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler.
Yes. Well, wait a minute. It's not that they forgot it. It's that was a while ago.
Well,
no. Don't get slick. Wait, what we're saying is C.J. Mosley, don't get me wrong, mad respect to him and what he has accomplished.
Okay. Last time we saw him.
How much does he have? How much does he have in the tank?
He's only 29 years old. Last time we saw him, what did he do? Yeah. He had a touchdown and a pick in one half of football.
All right.
Who has the better coach?
Ooh, that's tough.
That's tough.
Because Salah's unproven.
You tell me the foundation. That's where I'm going. And I ain't trying to cast no shade on C.J. Mosley because I know the brother could ball. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, when we say foundation, when you talk about the building blocks, I'm like, to me, it starts with your coaching.
It does.
And I like Joe Judge. I like what I've seen from him.
Well,
they got better every week as far as I was concerned, at least until the last season.
Well, it's unknown with Salah. We don't know what he is. We know what he is as a coordinator, but we damn sure know what Joe Douglas is and what he's been able to build where he's been.
I would also tell you that this is the same Jets organization that hired Adam Gase. You know he's high. You know he showed up to his press conference high.
Well, that's because Peyton's call. Listen, we're going to stop taking Peyton's call. That's what we're going to stop doing.
That's what I'm trying to say. All right.
Adam we got Peyton Manning blocked.
And I don't know whether he showed up high or not. He just looked high. I can tell you that much. But in the end, now Douglas came in after.
You still have Pat Shurmur, too. Like, you can't just dismiss they did hire Pat Shurmur. Yeah. I think we both in trouble.
So all our hopes still hang on the Nets here in New York. That's pretty much what everyone's telling me. It's Brooklyn Nets. That's what we'll be focusing on.
Let's go, Brooklyn.
All right, guys. The U.S. Open men's and women's quarterfinals begin today. That is on ESPN and ESPN Plus noon Eastern, right after us, 9 a.m. Pacific, and continue at 7 Eastern with 4 hours of primetime coverage. Stephen A., I got another question for you from FAMU.
Greetings. My name is DeAndre Smith. I am a transfer student from Polk State College, pursuing my PharmD with a minor in food science at the greatest HBCU in the nation, Florida A&M University. I want to know, when will organizations such as the NFL and the NBA put a heavy emphasis on recruiting HBCU student athletes, as well as create a pipeline for them to be coaches and also move into front office opportunities?
First of all, DeAndre, good to see you, man. That's a great question. And I think that we have to give the NFL some credit. You have drafts now, in the midst of taking place. They're sending scouts and player personnel directors down to watch the scout HBCU talent. I think, believe it or not, it's not just about the NFL. It's incumbent upon people like myself and those of us in the media, particularly those who played football, to talk about the talent that emanates from HBCUs. I remember when I was at Winston-Salem State University, Yancey Thigpen, who played for the Steelers for years, played for Tennessee. He was in school with me at Winston-Salem State. And obviously there's a host of other individuals that came from HBCUs. There's always talent, but when you consider how big time college sports is, the money that's thrown into these programs. When we talked about the social justice issues percolating last year, and I always use this analogy, Bart. I tried to tell folks that when, George, that cop Chauvin had his knee on George Floyd's neck for over 9 minutes. I said when you saw people protesting in the streets, as I told Molly sitting right next to me on many occasions, when you saw people protesting in the streets and going off, it was because it was a metaphor. To black folks, we've always felt like there was the proverbial knee on our neck. Right. And you're craving for people to step up and do something. And why is that relevant to answering DeAndre Smith's question? It's very, very simple. What happens is that if we are about the business of collectively coming together and highlighting the importance of HBCUs and highlighting the level of importance that we need to highlight and really showing the needs that they have, and you juxtapose that to big-time universities that don't have that need because they raking all of that money in and what have you. If you pour more resources into HBCUs, you'll have more students going to HBCUs. Absolutely. The talent will be undeniable. Yeah. It will be very visible and conspicuous. As a result, the leagues and everybody associated it will follow the peel talent from that. Yeah. Troy Vincent and the NFL, along with the Players Association, have done an incredible job of trying to ingratiate themselves in the HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, for those of you who don't know what an HBCU is. In the end, that's what it comes down to, highlighting the support that they need and doing all we can to make sure we continue to highlight that they are worthy of the support they are asking for.
And to your point, Stephen, if they build it, they will come. You shout out to Deion Sanders and Eddie George for being able to shine a light using their celebrity so that their players can get opportunities to be seen. I mean, last week seeing that HBCUs was on NFL Network, it was on ESPN, highlighted as a premier game, allows people to go. And you see some of these top talented athletes starting to decide to go to HBCUs. Yeah. So that's where it starts, right? If you build it, they will come.
That's absolutely. Right. And Eddie and Deion will be with us on Friday. So we're looking forward to talking to them. Yeah. Our first take, HBCU and Dak and the Cowboys to start the NFL season. The Bucs return almost their entire roster from last season. Looking forward to previewing that tomorrow. Michael Strahan will be joining us, so we'll be talking all things football. Bart, tell me this. Should the Bucs be the favorites to go back to the Super Bowl?
No. Listen, the good thing is they brought everybody back. They're going to have great continuity. But listen, like, when you're full, you're not hungry, right? And usually what happens when you bring new people on the team and as you get your rings, not that I've ever experienced that, but from people that I know that have experienced that, what happens is it's a group on that team that wants to get their ring, right? So you're running back. Like, listen, the last time that somebody's won back-to-back was Tom Brady, early 2000.
2004.
Right, 2000. So it happens, but listen, you have to be better be lucky than good sometimes. Listen, they still have to win that division because in that division, they lost twice to the Saints. And Sean Payton knows something about them. And, yeah, it wasn't with Mike Thomas and it was with Drew Brees. But I would say that Jameis Winston, what he showed in his preseason, is a good thing.
Hold on. Jameis, you lost me. First of all, your take, First of all, your take was utterly ridiculous. That's number one. But I thought you was just talking about, forget that. They just ain't going to do it. You trying to tell me Jameis Winston going to be the one standing in their way? That's what you're saying?
No. I'm saying Sean Payton and the Saints are going to be standing in their way, and that defense is going to be standing in their way.
Well, I believe in the
I
believe in the defense. I saw what they did to Bruce Arians and Tampa Bay's offense last year.
Without Mike Thomas.
I saw all of that, but
you don't think
Jameis Winston going to make
you don't think Jameis Winston is a better quarterback than Drew Brees last year? Drew Brees couldn't push the ball down the field.
You think Jameis Winston is going to be better than Drew Brees?
This opens up the entire field for that team. This is something that Sean Payton's never had.
God.
Listen. Okay, the Rams are standing in the way, too. So the Rams are standing in the way. I believe that the Rams are the team that's going to win.
Okay, listen, man. Here's my deal. I understand. It's football. Oh, God, sorry. Anything can happen. I get all of that. I understand it. We all know that any given Sunday. We get it. We love the movie.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx, Al Pacino, LL Cool J.
Inch by inch.
Bill Bellamy.
Inch by inch.
There's an inch by inch. 6 inches in front of your face. Yes, I know. Here's my deal. The reigning, defending Super Bowl champion returned all 22 starters. And you're going to sit here with a straight face and tell me because they won, Bart Scott.
Yes.
Oh, well, maybe. Well,
they feeling themselves, baby.
They feeling themselves.
Local commercials, endorsements.
Hold on. So Tom Brady, was he feeling himself at the one?
No, that's one person.
Has that ever been an issue for him?
The person.
He's already had to get on them because they lack of practice.
Wait a minute. He's had to get on teams in the past.
Okay.
Come on now. Don't sit there and act like you don't know. I mean,
Okay.
you got, listen.
I'll tell you this.
Listen, come on.
Mahomes would have beat him last year if he would have had his tackle.
Oh, really? That's what we're doing.
Now he's
That's
better.
what we're doing.
Now he's
That's
better.
what we're doing.
Well, how did it work for Kansas City?
He had a bad foot.
How
Had a bad foot, too, now.
How did it work for
Listen,
Kansas City?
Excuse me. Kansas City and my brother Travis Kelce gonna be on the show this week too.
I hope he let his facial hair grow out. This look weird.
It's all right. It's all right. But his decision making is spectacular. It's just important to point out. Now, the point is, back to football. We're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay?
Yes.
And when you look at it, I'm sorry, Antonio Brown decided to come back. Mike Evans is still there. Chris Godwin is still there. O.J. Howard's coming back. Robert Gronkowski is back as well. Leonard Fournette is back. And the defense is real, too. And you're going to sit here with a straight face and tell me that there's a team in the NFC that should be. Yeah,
you heard Friday.
They could lose.
Write it down. Take a picture.
Hold on, boy. They could lose to the Rams. They could lose to Green Bay. There's a few teams that got a chance. San Francisco, yes, I believe that. There's a few teams that got a chance. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, to start off the season, you going to tell me somebody deserves to be the favorite over them?
It's unheard of to return all 20.
Stephen A., that's why they paid me the little bucks. Because I can see farther than you have to.
Bart,
you know better.
What can't you wait for? Bart, can't wait. That's all you.
Speaking of terrific time, I can't wait for week 4 when he goes back into the house that Tom built. They got highlights on. And they're saying, this is what you left me for dad bod? Listen, he's going to tell Mac and Cheese, go get some avocado ice cream and take notes. And he's going to tell you, he's going to go. I can't wait to see the awkward handshake between Tom and Bill Belichick and how fake that is.
Awkward moment.
Yeah, I like that.
You like that?
It doesn't bother me.
I can't wait for that.
Listen, it's going to be beautiful, but let me be very, very clear. There ain't going to be no blowout.
Okay.
That's going to be a tight
He's going to
game.
tell Ndamukong Suh, sweep the leg. That kid's in for a rude awakening. We're going to see what he all about then.
We're going to find out. It's no problem.
Ndamukong Suh, I like how you die, boy.
I think Tampa Bay's going to win the game. I think Tampa Bay's going to win the game, but I don't think it's going to be a romp. I don't think so.
Tom is creating separation. He's the reason for the season.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's like that. So in other words, Bill Belichick, last time I checked, the head coach oversees offense, defense, and special teams. He oversees the entire organization. So Bill Belichick didn't have nothing to do with those 6 rings.
Well, Tom went down to 1-1 without him. Like, I got it. Don't worry about it. Hold my beer.
So what? You got one without him.
What's your can't wait?
I don't know.
It's okay.
You don't even know it.
Listen, everybody, the donations, tithes, and offerings to Deacon Durham right there.
It's probably the Steelers.
Let me tell you this. Of course it's the Steelers.
Oh, God.
Of course it's the Steelers. Of course it's the Steelers. Why y'all acting like y'all don't?
One-on-one with
Watch
your
the
boy
Steelers
Mike
win the
Tomlin.
AFC North.
Oh,
Watch
God.
Big Ben Roethlisberger throw over 4,000 yards. Watch Jace Claypool put the world on notice. He one of the elite young receivers in the game, just like he did last year. Watch Najee Harris show you a running game has returned to the Steel City, and the defense is real.